Hey guys, Mustang here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so, as expected, any day now, we have the update in the news, finally, for the Gamma 1 and 2. Basically, the movie collaboration next part is coming to global. Obviously, we already knew, essentially, the date, right? The 27th. It's going to be the evening of the 27th if you're in the US. It's the morning of the 28th for me. So, Thursday evening or Friday morning for me. I will be live streaming when the banner and everything comes out. So it's now in the news. You can obviously see it there in the game yourself right now. We have the update to the Path to Ultimate Power story event. This is the one that you could farm the AGL Gohan from the movie from. And then, of course, we have the Dokkan event teasers for Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, because remember, they do have their own Dokkan events. So obviously we knew these guys were coming, so this is no real big surprise. This is just literally what was added into the news on JP basically a week ago today. So we were expecting to see this, but obviously we now have the official in-game confirmation that they are coming to global. So Gamma 1 and 2, the two new Dokkan Fest units. You guys have probably seen, I know some people don't follow everything that's going on JP, which is why I always still cover like this news stuff when it comes out on global. Because a lot of people just don't watch like JP showcases and stuff like that. So we'll very quickly go over the Gamma 1 and 2. So they are both 200% leads. Gamma 1 is SCR. Movie heroes or artificial life forms 3 key 170 to stats, and then an additional HP attack and defense 30% for accelerated battle or worthy rivals. So just like the Kid Goku that recently released on JP, we are now starting to see more of these extra categories for the extra 30%, which obviously does help for including more units on the team. And artificial life forms with accelerated battle does give STR Kid Buu his first 200% lead. Although unfortunately no other Boos are on accelerated battle or worthy rivals. It's literally just Kid Buu, which means he's still missing a great link partner. But definitely looking forward to seeing how well he's going to perform on that team with the 200% lead. So for the super attack, he raises attack and defense for 1 turn, does immense damage to the enemy. And then both of them have entrance animations. So he activates the entrance animation. He gets 50% attack and guards all attacks for 4 turns. So you get 4 turns of guard. He gets attack and defense 150%, an additional attack 100% when performing a super. Then he gets an additional attack and defense 20% up to 100 and reduces damage received by 10% up to 50 with each attack received. So he has to be hit 5 times to be fully maxed out. Obviously, ideally, you want that to be within the first 4 turns so that he still has his guard up. And then when he's fully built up, despite the fact that he will lose his guard, his defense will have been built up to a reasonably high number and he has 50% damage reduction. So he also has a 30% chance to crit starting from the turn in which he receives the 5th attack. So once you're fully built up and you've lost your guard, you're also getting that little bit of extra firepower with the built-in chance to crit. And then he gives all allies key +1 and defense 30%. He has a great chance of evading enemies' unarmed super attacks and countering with tremendous power. So 70% super attack counter chance. That's the same as like Tech Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. But it is only for unarmed super attacks and counters with tremendous power. So he has some typical Android links, right? Android Assault, Shocking Speed, Fierce Battle, Red Ribbon Army. He does have Cold Judgment, which can be pretty good. He has Hero of Justice, because obviously the Gammas are superheroes, as well as Signature Pose. And he's on Android's Movie Heroes, Artificial Life Forms, Worthy Rival, Special Pose, Defenders of Justice, and Accelerated Battle. So when we look at Gamma 2, movie heroes, androids, or special pose, and then 30% to accelerated battle or worthy rivals. So interestingly enough, they both have movie heroes, and then Gamma 1 has artificial life forms, but Gamma 2 has androids and special pose. So he has a much more like overarching leader skill, right, with 3 categories and then the 2 extra 30%. He also raises attack and defense for 1 turn, does immense damage. He has an entrance animation as well, of course. Defense 50% and launches 2 additional attacks, each of which has a medium chance to become a super for 4 turns from the start of the turn. Then he gets 150 attack and defense, an extra 100% when performing a super, additional 20% attack and defense up to 100, and chance to crit 10% up to 50 with each attack performed. So obviously he's the more offensive of the two, right? He builds up with each attack that he does as opposed to each attack that he takes, and he builds up attack and defense the same way, but he builds up crit chance instead of damage reduction. Then he launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super starting from the turn in which he performs the 5th attack in battle, which could literally be on the 2nd turn if you get all of his additionals proccing, because not only does he have those additionals in his passive, but even at 55%, remember he's AGL, so he has level 5 additional in the hidden potential system. And then he gives all allies 2 ki and attack 30%. He has a high chance of nullifying Ki Blast super attacks. So it's only a 50%, but Ki Blast obviously slightly better for some situations, and it is a nullification. So it's not a counter, so it won't do any damage, but it means it can still be used against enemies that disable dodge. So obviously against Broly in his AoE phase or the final AGL phase, you are able to nullify his super attack. And then their links are very similar. The only difference, I believe, is, yeah, he has the Innocence as opposed to, is it Cold Judgment? Yeah, Cold Judgment. So they are 6 out of 7 link partners with each other, which is pretty good. Now, the only thing to think about, and I'm going to do a more detailed video about this, but the banner, there was a lot of discussion. I said on Twitter that I didn't think it was very good. Some people disagreed with me. Obviously, it depends on your box, right? Some people out there will potentially need copies of all of these units. For me, it's a pretty dangerous banner because I don't need anyone except for the actual new units. And then I think I still need 2 dupes for the androids, but I definitely am hoping to get 1 copy of each and then dip, because Global is going to be very busy, and I'm going to go over that in more detail in the actual separate, like, should you summon video. But the banner, definitely a bit sketchy. Now, obviously, Global could get tickets, which we never know. We'll have to wait and see when there's a data download, potentially later today or early tomorrow. We might find that out for sure, but that's something you have to factor in as well. And then remember, alongside the Gammas releasing, we also get the update to the Cell Max event. So not only do we get 2 new missions, and I did do a video going over these missions, so check it out if you haven't seen it. There is a mission to beat the stage with a special pose team and an artificial lifeforms team. Obviously, they're encouraging you to pull the new units, right, because they are part of their leader skill. So if you pull both of them, not only are these essentially, like, as far as JP players are concerned, it's pretty unanimous that these are like the 2 new best TURs in the game. So if you do pull them, it's obviously going to make these missions a lot easier. But to make the missions easier for everyone else anyway, as I discussed in the actual video about the missions, special pose and artificial lifeforms units from the moment this update comes out do double damage. Well, it's actually just over. I think it's 210% damage to Cell Max. So even if you don't pull the Gammas, you can make an artificial lifeforms team with units like Cell, the androids team, metal coolers, and then obviously special pose you have units like the Gotenks, you obviously have the Ginyu Force team, and all of those units now do extra damage to make that a little bit easier. So this is going to be coming out at the same time as well. And then, of course, we have the story update. The only real major thing for this is we add a couple of extra stages. The key, I guess, difference is that in this final stage, you can farm these plush toys, obviously from the movie, that they keep getting for Piccolo. And these are kind of similar to the radishes from that Goku and Friends Return, like, fusion event. Because when we go over to the shop, like the small time ones, which I imagine are much easier to get, you can trade in for some of these lower quality items. And then the purple ones, which are obviously going to drop in slightly less frequency, you can trade in for a couple of actual proper Elder Kais, and then some Hercule statues and the gravity chambers. Nothing too crazy on here. 5 Kais in total, though, which is pretty good. So extra Kais, because obviously the Gammas don't have farmable super attacks, so that'll be pretty useful for anyone who does pull the new units. So there you go, Gamma 1 and 2 officially announced in-game, coming to Global. As I said at the beginning, we already knew the date, right? It was already announced before, but it's always hype to log into the game and see the new stuff actually in the news. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. Like I said, I will be streaming live summons when the banner comes out. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, hit that notification bell so you know when I go live. Follow me on Twitter and all that good stuff because I always post on my social medias when I'm going to go live. And hopefully I will see you guys at the stream. So let me know down below in the comments. Are you excited? Are you going to be summoning for the Gammas? Are you going to be saving your stones for potentially Vegeta and Trunks or Heroes? And let me know your thoughts on the Cell Max. If you did watch the team building video I made already, because I made it when it came out to help out JP players, but obviously the missions are exactly the same. So global players, you can still go back, check them out. If you have teams in mind already that you're planning to use, let me know down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.